Welcome to Biz Vibe, or welcome back. I'm Vivian Camille, and today I'm talking about the shoe I have tripped in and fallen in the most. That is the Nike Terra Kiger. I really wanted to like this shoe, but it just missed the mark entirely. If I had done my research, perhaps watched a video like this or read up on a review, I would have understood that these shoes are not for the kind of running I do. There are a lot of rocks here in Tucson. The trails are mostly covered in them. There are different trails that you can get to pines and stuff like that, but the majority of the running I do is on rocky terrain, and these shoes are not built or designed for that, nor do they do a very good job of it. They might be better than a road shoe, but not by much. I don't think I've ever tripped and fallen in a shoe other than this one. I think I have pretty good footing and know how to run these trails. But when I put this shoe on, for some reason, I look like a fool. I'd say these are a perfect shoe for dirt roads, pine straw, and a cross-country course with a lot of grassy, running open fields. And that's not what comes to mind when I think of trail running per se. I think this is more of a speed work shoe. I have worn it as a road shoe a lot because I don't trust it on the trail. And that's unfortunate because like I said, I really wanted to like this shoe. I thought it would be my in-between of the Speed Goat and the Bushido 2. I'm still on the hunt for something with a little less cushion, but the same amount of traction that I can get from both of these shoes, and I haven't found it. But enough of that, you get it. Not so much a technical trail runner, more of a dirt road runner. Which brings me to the grip and the waffling here on the bottom of the shoe. We're gonna start out with the negatives and we will redeem this shoe a little bit. The first time I took these out on trail, I fell and tripped, and then every other time, I didn't have the footing I needed in these shoes. The traction is not ideal with this waffle pattern. I don't know what the difference is between this and the Bushido and the Speed Goat, but for some reason, the grip on the bottom of the shoe just doesn't cut it. As you can see, the shoe has worn down quite a bit. It no longer has really much of that grip, certainly no more than it came with. You're looking at a shoe that has a couple hundred miles on it at this point. A lot of the miles I ran were on dirt roads, and because I learned what this shoe is for. But as you can imagine, this is with the shoe worn down a lot. When it came, the traction looked really aggressive, and I thought I'd be getting a lot of bang for my buck, but that just wasn't the case, and that's just unfortunate now, isn't it? This shoe has a 4mm drop and is a mid-cushion shoe as far as what's on the market currently. I had no problem with the cushion of this shoe. Yes, you will feel the rocks under your feet. It is a little more minimal than some, obviously the Hoka and many other shoes, but I had no problem with that. I don't mind feeling the rocks, and as I described in my Bushido video of my review here, there's a rock plate in these shoes, and almost every time I go running in them now, if I do anything beyond 8 to 10 miles, my foot has a really hard time not being sore when it gets out of this shoe. For some reason, whatever the design is in this shoe, I cannot handle the rocks. However, with this shoe and the minimal cushion, it's not a problem. So that's 1 star for these shoes, yay! As far as sizing goes, this shoe is true to the US size. I wear 7.5. I bought these in 7.5. They fit perfectly. I had tried on, I think 8 just to be safe, and they were way too big. I really did like the toe box. It provided a lot of good room, but just enough. I never felt like I was wishy-washing around in the shoe, but my toes and my feet had room to expand when they hit the trails, so I enjoyed that part of the shoe. Honestly, I started out pretty negatively about this shoe, but it is a good shoe. Yeah. What's really neat about this shoe is there's a segmented rock plate in here, so it really allows for a lot of flexibility in the forefront, which I appreciate. And potentially because of that, I think maybe my foot doesn't hurt as much when I run in these beyond 10 miles. They also did a great job of adding this rubber coating to protect the toes and make sure that the top of the foot is not harmed by any rocks. And I think one of my favorite features about this shoe is the lacing. For For some reason, the way these laces are engineered, it really distributes the tension evenly. And when you lace them down, your foot really feels locked into place. So even trekking through a river, I never felt like my feet were sloshing around. They always felt nice and secure, but my feet never fell asleep because they were too tight. You know how that happens? Have you ever had that happen? Not cool, not cool, but these laces are pretty neat. I'd say the best part of these shoes is their durability. Like I said, I have a couple hundred miles on these shoes, and yes, the traction has worn down. There are still grooves. The waffling pattern still exists, which is good. And even in the back, you can tell I do not heel strike. There's still quite a lot of traction pad left here. And a really fun fact about these shoes is if you're ever gonna do the Aravaipa Canyon backpacking trip, hiking through a river for 3 days, these are your shoes, man. For some reason, they do not grip on the rocks out here. They don't give me the stability I need, but on wet rock, they did a brilliant job. I wore these all 3 days and they dried super great. I can still run in them, and there have been no holes in any of the netting other than what was already there. The shoe has held up really well. I'd give it 5 stars for the durability. It really has done a great job of holding together, and the foam hasn't even compressed too much. Overall, I'd say the Nike Terra Kiger is a comfortable shoe with medium cushion. They do really well on dirt roads, and not super technical trails. If that's what you're looking for, this is a good shoe. If not, I would consider something like the Bushido 2 or maybe the Speed Goat, depending on your cushion preference. I really like the flexible forefront with the segmented rock plate, and these are the best shoes to tie. So if your trails resemble nice dirt roads or really soft loamy pine trails, these are your shoe. If not, I'd stay away. Thank y'all so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Please like this down below if it was helpful. Comment down below if you have a different opinion on these shoes or more insight, or they're your favorite shoe. Tell us why, or tell us why not. I'd really appreciate that. Subscribe to the channel if you're interested in all things trail running and trail gear and me talking. Yeah. I will see y'all later, and happy trails.